on, kids. Happy MLK Day. Happy birthday to the King. Yes. You guys doing okay? It's Friday. It's Friday. Yes. I don't know what that poor connection is about. I ain't feeling it, but we're gonna get through this, right? It happened last week too. I don't know what's going on. Yes. Hey guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yes. So today I have an incredibly special guest. I'm actually very nervous, even though I've known him forever, known her forever. Welcome to danniGeeLive. What in the heck? Okay, pause, back connection. I don't know what that's about. Anyhow, my guest today, I have known since 98, I believe, and she is an incredible force of nature, the legendary rock star, poet, publisher, Jess Care Moore. And we're going to see if we can get through this. I don't know what's happening with my connection, so I'm going to bring her in right away without delay because she is an incredible human being, and I'm so excited to host her today. So let me see where. Oh, she sent me a request already. Work. See? Yeah. Fingers crossed for the connection. Yay. Jessica Care Moore.
What up, girl? Hi, sweetheart. Girl, I know you before 98. I was like,
oh my God, you look amazing. You're so...
I was talking to your fine ass. I wanted to look. I was like, how much lip gloss do I have to make sure? Look, ain't nobody, look, hello. Anyway, I knew I was talking to Danny G.
Okay.
Hi, sweetheart. I love you so much for this.
Love. Oh my,
your promotion has been like making my day. I was like, oh my gosh, he's showing Black Girl Juice from the Apollo.
Yeah, girl, I was digging. I went digging. You know, I had to find everything. And can I just tell you, this whole few days leading up to our talk today, I have been so emotional. Me too.
Your picture took me all the way back. And then, you know, to see like, you know, these are Jesse Peterson's like squad. You know what I mean? Like, to see people they know, like that picture is so iconic from us from New York. Because I was trying to remember the gigs. I did so many gigs with National Black Arts Festival. With that gig, I was doing a concert with the Last Poets, and you and Imani was singing with me, and Max was playing bass. I was like, wait, I was there with the band. Oh my God. But it's so crazy because Imani used to say, Danny, like she's like, Jessica. I remember when I told her about Stephanie Christian, the singer Black on my Rock, who's amazing from Detroit. And I was telling Stephanie, Stephanie is amazing. She sings all my rock songs. She said, Jessica, you're a poet. You had the baddest motherfucking women singing.
Yes.
I had you sang with me. Alice Smith sang with me. Imani Azuri. I'm like, I don't know. You can't with Abby Dobson.
Abby Dobson. Ugh. Libra.
I mean, how do y'all sing? Why do y'all sing when like? Well, listen. Okay, I just want to get off Instagram so we can just talk for real. But I love you for this, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You're part of my journey. You're part of my story.
Absolutely, mine too. I mean, going back to that photo for me, you know, always around this time of year, you know, Ailey's in season at City Center normally, and so much stuff has been coming up about Alvin Ailey for me. His birthday was last week. It would have been last week. January 5, Capricorn.
Yeah.
A lot of my Ailey babies are Capricorns.
My mother.
And when I look at that photo, because somebody was joking with me, they were like, "Oh, you were so skinny in that picture." I was like, what they don't understand is I had literally maybe like a year and a half prior to that, I had to leave Ailey because of my injury, and so I was going through such a deep depression. At that time before I met all of you guys. And then when I came back to New York, I moved back to New York. I was living over on Riverside. And when
I remember Riverside.
Right?
Hey, Jonesy.
Right, Jonesy D. Who I got to meet in Toronto last year. Yeah.
LA. Okay. London's in the house.
London's in the house. But you all embracing me the way that you did, coming from my cocoon of Alvin Ailey into this incredible group of women that, first of all, we're terrified because you all were just like,
you are one of us, though. girl, please, queen, please. Like, we were like, come on, fine ass.
But I remember meeting you at that rehearsal for Medusa, and you were.
Yo, is that where we met?
Yeah,
At
I don't know if
Medusa
it was
Avantgata?
the rehearsal was kind of over, and you were like, "Hey, sis," and you kind of like walked out. And it was all good, but I was just looking around the room like, "Okay, this is my new family," and like Trevor and Tom Lubay, like
Greg Tate. Jesse Peters and Sharif Simmons. We should tell people about Medusa Avantgata because they don't know what we're talking about.
I know.
They're like, what are y'all talking about?
The precursor to everything, Burnt Sugar Orchestra. But then I met Sharif. Well, prior to meeting you, I had met Greg Tate through Torre, who I was dating at the time.
Yeah, yes, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm familiar.
Say it. And I went to Greg Tate's apartment where he still lives now to audition or just like, whatever. And Sharif was there. And so Greg's like, all right, you in the band. It's like, whatever. Okay.
As if they're not going to let you. If your asses was playing the tambourine, they wouldn't let you in the band. Them brothers, as if.
But I just remember then going to your apartment close to where I live now. Where did you used to live?
I lived in Brooklyn at first. When I first moved to New York City, I was on Willoughby. And then I moved uptown where Sharif and I ended up living together on 159th and St. Nicholas Avenue. Up the street from Greg.
Exactly.
That's how I ended up, like Sharif and I had to end up seeing each other a lot more because he lived right there. Mm-hmm. And that's what and then him and Omari ended up moving into my place. Yeah, he's 25. He's going to be 26.
Oh my God, right. And just fine as hell. So for everybody just tuning in, thank you for coming in today. I'm talking with my good girl, sister Fred, Jess Care Moore, and we're going back to how we first met.
Yeah.
I had just been, retired from Alvin Ailey, and Jessica was already a force on the scene. 1996, five-time Apollo. It's Showtime at the Apollo winner, legendary epic record breaking, which I posted Black Girl Juice just before we came on. Yeah. So quickly, I know you've been asked about this a million times, but just even for me, what was that like winning that?
The Apollo, it's deep because it changed my life to this moment. Like the Apollo, I can't get away from it. As much as I want to be like, I've done so much since then, right? How many stages have I done? But that Black stage in Harlem is such an important historic stage. Yes. And so I never play it down because that moment changed my life. It also changed the life of a lot of young girls, Black girls in particular, that were watching and that had never seen poetry come out of a person that sounded or looked like me. And they never thought poetry even belonged to them. They thought it was something like some iambic pentameter or some old white man, that's dead. You know what I mean? And so they heard like a Black girl voice who maybe they didn't grow up knowing who Ntozake Shange was or Sonia Sanchez and people that I got to know in high school, thank goodness, through good teachers and God and ancestors and mamas and stuff like that. And so it was surreal, sis, because, I was on the scene at that point. I was a poet. I had lived in New York for 5 months. I was still learning the train. When I learned I was still learning the train.
Oh, my God.
I had been living in Brooklyn for 5 months. And Maurice Dwyer came up to me at Brooklyn Moon Cafe, which was our little gathering spot, right? The Brooklyn Moon. And he was like, you know what, Jessica, I wouldn't say this to anybody else, but I think you should go to the Apollo and read your poetry. I was like, and I'm from Black Detroit, girl.
Yes.
We don't care. I will read my poems at a shoe store, at a hair salon, at a barbershop, in my boy's living room where he rolling up the weed. I read my poems any damn where. And so I said yes, and I did the Apollo. I didn't expect to win. I did the audition, and Maxine Lewis put me to the side, who was responsible for everybody who got on that show, and said, "Baby, we gonna put you on the show." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be on the show." And she said, "Yes." So it was the first time I went on. I had my little rap skirt on, my carving shell. I just came as myself. What's up, Paris? Shout out to Mother's Favorite Child. And who I met in 95 in Brooklyn.
Okay,
and
Paris.
Mysterious, fine ass. Hey, what up, though? And so, and I mean, these people that I met in New York, like New York, what's so great about God and how ancestors work is that I was put in a space where I could have been damaged. I could have been, anything could have happened to me. I was in New York City literally by myself. I only knew my cousin who was younger than me from Detroit. I knew no one there. And between 95 and 96, I had New York City literally in the palm of my hand. Yeah. I was like, I can do if I can come in here and crush like I just did, I couldn't believe it. With the poem, and it was Black folks, man. Like, you know, I mean, I'll never forget the feeling because they were so quiet. Danny, I was like, oh, they about to boo me or something. And they listened, and then after they just went crazy. And then it happened two times. And then the poets started finding out. So I think like Pierre and Tarika, you know, people found out. Remember, Sharif found out. People were like tripping. I'm like, yo, Jessica is doing poetry on the Apollo, and she's doing it. Everybody.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I'm proud of it. I mean, it was 1995. It aired in the last week of December 95 and all of January of 96. So it's been 20 plus years now.
Wow.
And then to bring Black Women Rock, like to circle back, and after I think my 20th anniversary, they brought me to do the show. Ray Chu was there. I've seen Steve Harvey since then. Once in LA, I did a show and he was there. He's like, "You that girl from the Apollo?" I had on like a girl. You know, I wasn't had no wrap skirt on. I had like a pull back weave ponytail and a little pink dresses up high ass heels in LA, talking about, yeah, that's me, Black Sexy Liberty. You know, he's like. He was talking bad shit. Him and Cedric the Entertainer. It was hilarious.
Okay.
But that moment propelled me into everything else that I do. And that picture is all about Black Women Rock.
Yes.
I was like, because I was around you, I was around women. I don't sing. I write songs, right? And I found myself in the middle of women who played rock and roll, like you and Imani and Tema Kali, who sang and was all about some rock and roll music. And I was like, I was so energized by that.
Yeah.
I was in the poetry thing. Yes. Poetry scene, Saul, Tony Medina, Willie Perdomo, like those I was grounded Asha Bandelis, you know, and Lisa Jesse Peterson and those in that community, right? But also the music scene, because I was really in search of sound. I was really trying to figure out how to find a balance between my voice and poetry and a band. And so Medusa Obligato, this is beautiful, like coming together of like, I remember Greg was like, there's going to be 3 poets. I think it was me, Lisa, and Sharif for the poets. And it was like, I don't know how many vocalists and this many guitar players. And it was just fantastic. And I missed that. I can't say. I did
too. I mean, I was really just finding my voice then. I mean, I mean that sincerely because I think by the time we met, I was already singing with Kathy Sledge.
Yes.
Right?
You had already been singing with them.
Yeah. And so, but my particular voice and my way of singing, I was still finding that. You know what I mean? Like my Sugar Bush, my Danny G voice that I had to grow to be okay with. You know, because I'm not one that does runs. I'm not one that does all that stuff. I just sing how I sing, and just
you're a rock and roll singer, sis. I mean,
being in the room with you all and feeling accepted. Like I remember the first time I saw Tamara Kali, and then she and I have talked about this. I had just moved back to New York. I had no money, and this was like 98. And I went down to the Cooler. Remember the Cooler? Went down to the Cooler. It was
shout out to CB's Gallery. Yes.
It was I think it was a Sister Girl Riot production or something. That she put together. And she closed the show, and I just remember I was like, "Ooh, this is it for me. This is I need to be here."
I'm talking about somebody before her time. Were we in our 20s?
Oh, okay, right in our
20s. She was destroying. She was destroying.
Oh wait, can I go back because I'm always curious, and even though I've known you forever, there are some stories I just don't know.
Yeah.
Take me back to growing up in the D. How you found a kinship with poetry, like your parents, Tell us all of it.
Well, I mean, my parents weren't poets, but my dad was poetry in motion for sure, and a big inspiration for me. He's on the cover of my first book. I lost him in 1994, and that's when I moved to New York. My daddy died, and all these poems poured out of me. And I had been writing poetry or whatever, but after he passed, I feel like that was my entranceway. And he's been pushing me like ever since. My mother was the book reader though in the house. So my mother used to, what I say, and she still does, eat books, but not fiction. She read memoir and she read history and she gave me poems. So she realized that I was reading early. And so she would put like Lorraine Hansberry, Alice Walker, Maya Angelou, stuff the school would never give me. But in 11th grade, I found my drama teacher, Susan Story, is credited with bringing For Color Girls into my Black Box Theater. And at that time, Detroit schools had things called Black Box Theaters. And when I heard Intizaki's For Color Girls, I was like, what is this? And that's like, I'm grown. So that was like when people talking about gangster rap and NWA and all that. I'm a hip hop head. So I'm like, I'm loving Nas. Like I'm listening to a lot of West Coast rap. And and different stuff. But I came up with like Jay Dilla and Proof and that crew, Slum Village, and so I'm a part of the hip hop community in Detroit. But then I heard that, and I was like, that right here, that's what is that? What is that? Because nobody taught me that poetry could sound like that, and I knew immediately when I heard Ndezaki, I was like, this is my calling. Oh. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And and then I found Audre Lorde and Sonia Sanchez and, you know, Dudley Randall. You know, Detroit has a rich history. So beyond my parents were working class people. My daddy's from Alabama. My mother's from Canada. We grew up in Canada.
Oh, I never knew that.
My mother's not American. She's English. She's actually English Canadian. So she grew up in she's been in Detroit since she's 17.
Right. So how did only because I love stories, and you know me, girl. We always talk about love stuff. How did they meet?
In Canada, my daddy was 22 years my mother's senior, so he lied about his age. That's how he got it. Lying, that Pisces. But he was fine, so she didn't know. And so he was in Canada at a party. My mother was 17 at a party. By the time she was 18, my mother and father were married. And she had her first son, my brother Mark, and they had 4 children. So my brother, I have 5. I'm 7 of 8 children from my father. My father was older than my mother. He had been married before, like, twice and divorced. So I have an older sister as well. Right. I'm trying to think which wedding you were a part of. My sister came to the second one. Look, can I just share something real quickly though? Because this is a picture with danniG. She was a bridesmaid in my wedding. God. Well, I had lots of ex-husbands. She knew the first one. There's Danny being my bridesmaid. That's right there. Look, that's me that's my first wedding, and there's me. My God! And there you are. That's my cousin Lynn, who I was telling you about. I'm sending some prayers to my cousin Lynn, whose dad is in the hospital right now. Mr. Hall,
prayers up for her.
Yeah.
But my so Jessica, beautiful. you have
my crazy life and all my ex-husbands. I didn't kill none of them.
That's all right,
honey.
Can I tell you though, so that wedding, guys, was in the Cloisters, and I was so honored to be a bridesmaid in Jessica's wedding to Sharif Simmons. Yes. The Cloisters. So I live closer now to the Cloisters. I'm at 173rd, right?
Oh, do you? Okay, beautiful.
That is my place. I walk up there all the time. The surgeries that I've had, that's my place where I go to get strong and heal. And so where you had your wedding on that overlook, that's one of my favorite places to sit and meditate. And
you have to take me back there when I'm back in New York. I don't even remember how to get there. I probably put some sage on that place. I had to come there and burn some sage, girl.
That was a day. Oh my God.
It's all good. But yeah, you're part of my story. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull out one of these.
I'm so glad you did. So they got you into it. And do you remember the first theme, if not the words, but the first theme of your first poem?
I wrote my poem. The first poem that I read when I was younger, I was writing silly stuff about boys. I was obsessed with death, like every other weirdo. I was like a weirdo kid. Yeah, I was such a weirdo artist. And then I went to Cody High School, which was a predominantly Black public high school. Before that, I was in an all-white, predominantly white Catholic schools. From first, the women I love, we love you too. We love bass players. From first through like 8th grade. And so I was writing about dumb stuff, but the first poem that I read out loud, when I say dumb stuff, I'm talking about boys, silly stuff, like I like him.
Okay.
Was my daddy. My daddy died in 94. I read a poem out loud. I was asked to read a poem at my father's funeral. It's called Breeze. So it's from my dad. And so that's the poem that's the most significant to me. Before that, I was writing poems, but I really was on fire, around 94, 93. And I wrote about, before Black Girl Juice, I wrote a poem called White Girl Juice. I wrote all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Everything in my first book, The Words Don't Fit in My Mouth, like everything is Black. So it's me, at 19 and 20. Hey, what's up? I'm Trinino. I'm a young trumpet player out of Detroit.
Yeah.
Me trying to find myself, pushing my identity, Rachel. I mean, before they said social justice, I was about social justice. When I was already 17 and 18, coming out this Black city. And watching, and I got introduced to Islam, so I studied Islam. So a lot of my friends were Sunni Muslim. So there was a time when I was like, hijab and, really connected to the Islamic community. I was down with the Nation of Islam. I was just searching, just learning. Jessica, my big brother, gang was drummer, known for years. Yes, I know.
Yes,
I know. Shout out to gang.
Hey, Law.
And so, yeah, that's family. And so, I say that to say there was a lot that shaped who I am, right? But when I came to New York City at 22.
Why did you? I'm sorry. So, what was the decision to come to New York?
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because I was I was a journalist by trade. I went to school to study political science and journalism because I was interested in politics and I wanted to be a writer. So I didn't think poetry, I could make a living as a poet. So I just become a political minded journalist, right?
Yes.
And so my cousin was graduating from NYU, Alexis Taylor. So I went to New York just to see her
graduate.
Taylor,
right?
Alexis, you know my cousin Alexis. She came to all our shows. She's in El Salvador now.
I know. We're still Facebook friends.
She's a lawyer. She's great. I miss her so much. I want her to come back to the States. So I went to just see my cousin graduate, like in a very innocent, like I'm gonna go to New York. And I was up for a full-time news writing position at a TV station here, Channel 50. I was already writing the news. I've been interning with them nonstop, and I was next in line for the newswriter weekend producer job.
Oh, wow.
I did the interview right before I moved to New York. My news director looked at me and she was like, "You don't want the job?" And I was like, "Well," I said, "I just went to New York and something is telling me I should go." And she said, "You could have just told," because she could tell in my interview, because she was like, "So why do you want the producer position?" I was like, "Well, I just want to write." And I wasn't answering the call. I knew how to do an interview. I knew how to say because I want to produce because. And I was like, I think I just want to be a writer. I'm really interested in writing. And we talked after that. And right after that, I moved. I packed up my purple Ford pickup, and I packed all my stuff, and I moved to Brooklyn. And I moved in with this sister named Patricia. I didn't know I'm from Detroit. We don't live with people we don't know. So in New York, they had something called a share in the Village Voice. I said, "What's a share?" I said, "You share a place with a person you don't know." This is some crazy shit. I was
crazy,
like,
right?
Hopefully I would not get kidnapped or killed. And woo, Allah Akbar, I was protected, girl. And so Patricia was a quiet little Jamaican girl, and she was like, I remember within 2 months of living with her family, they're real strict, conservative Jamaicans. They said, "Jessica know all these people," because I brought everybody over, Tyron, Fahim, Brad, girl, Cherie, everybody was at Most Def, Dante's ass was like, I was making out with him in the hallway or something.
Okay.
I'm just saying, all my little guy friends. Sorry. TMI. But really, so, everybody, and it was like a room. It wasn't like I had a dining area. It was like a share with a kitchenette. And I had a room, and she had a room. I had the bigger room. But and a mouse. There was a mouse. And I was like, this is great. But I used to bring, everybody used to come. We would just all go into that room. Saul would come over. So it's crazy. So I ended up moving to that one bedroom on Willoughby. Remember the one bedroom on Willoughby? I moved over there. Mm-hmm. And so all the poets started coming over there too. And
that's amazing. So you went right into a whole scene and a whole family, and it was like, whoom.
I did. The thing is, we were all, it was the most serendipitous time to be in New York City.
Good word.
Come on, like Raucous Records was just happening. Talib was working at Nkuru Books. I remember my boy Jess walked me over to Nkuru Books, said, "You got to meet my brother Talib." That man is like my best friend right now. Like, this is like 25, we're 25 years into a friendship.
Yes.
And if not more, I don't know how long it's been forever, but and I love him dearly. He put my album out in 2015. He put out Black Tea, The Legend of
Yes, that's all, girl. Look, I got pages of notes on you, girl.
Oh, you're so sweet. And sis, you know me because you've been singing. You were singing with me in the beginning, and I was trying he knew I was trying to figure out and balance out sound. I was trying to figure out this music thing. Mm-hmm. And it really took me to coming home to Detroit. I started Black on Rock in 2004, the National Black Arts Festival. That's after I'd left New York. So I left New York. I got married. We moved, me and Sharif moved to Atlanta. We got divorced. I married my second husband. Then I started started Black on Rock. And Black on Rock was just me as a producer in Atlanta, saying they're doing all that. I was on the young producers team. And I was like, y'all need some rock and roll up in this.
Okay.
Because I come from New York City. So I'd seen so many cutting edge things at festivals. And I felt like the festival was too conservative in that way. They had great with literary, great with theater, dance. Where's the music? I said, I know these Black women, they do something different that's not being shown here. And them sisters were in Atlanta. Joy was there. Divinity Rock was
Joy.
So I brought T. Kali, I brought Imani Azuri, I brought Jane Spooner. He
yes.
Afro punk. and race and inclusion. So I've been doing that 16 years now. But
Yes,
it was the
girl.
energy of the moment, that thing that we came up in.
Yes.
Because in New York City in 95 and 96 to 2000, when I was there for the 5 years, we were all with each other. So the rappers and the painters, like Marcia Jones, like she was painting at all our shows.
Right.
You know, it wasn't, and Danny Simmons, and the reason why that poetry jam happened, because Danny Simmons was right there with all of us.
Poetry, come on, right.
It all came from what I call the roaring 90s, that Renaissance moment with Sunday Tea Party, and you know, the places like Joe's Pub that opened up, and CB's, and you know, we were doing CB's Gallery, and poets like us who wanted to, Sharif, I think, included, and Lisa Jesse Peterson, Mike Ladd, one of the best in my opinion, Saul Williams. Like we wanted to rock. Like we wanted to get close to an audience in a way that poetry, I could do it without anything. I can take over a room with a poem. I know I can do it, right? I can do it, and I'm blessed to be able to do that. But there is a feeling. There is a feeling. I remember you standing next to me, Danny, singing, like, I'd be like,
wait, so can I just recall a moment? I mean, I had danced on Summer Stage in '93 with Ailey, and then fast forward, now working with you, singing backgrounds for you.
I remember. And
remember, we had a show opening for Roger
Whittaker Smith, who's one of my best friends. Shout out to Roger Whittaker Smith, who's one of my...
Shout out.
He requested me.
Huh?
He requested me. He asked for me to open Huey, because he saw me at Public Theater open for him at Huey, and he stayed he's a part of my real life. I love him dearly.
Exactly, real life, right? So the Huey P. Newton one-man show with music, soundscape by Chocolate Genius, whose daughter is like huge.
Look at Tessa go. That's Mark's daughter. I was like, Mark's daughter's on the cover of Vogue. I was like, this is so dope. I love her. She's amazing, an amazing talent.
So I not only got to dance on Summer Stage, then I got to sing on Summer Stage with you.
Yes, yes.
And then now I'm presenting at Summer Stage. So knowing what that feels like, just presenting and putting art out into the world, and the fact that you have this forged a path for yourself, knocking down all kinds of walls and barriers.
Yes, thank you.
You know, Blackmore Press, Black Women Rock, the Literacy Foundation that you started, right?
Oh, Jess Care Moore Foundation, More Black Press. I mean, and the press has been, I started in '97 with The Words Don't Fit in My Mouth, and Saul Williams was my first author. So I started publishing my friends, you know. I published Sharif's book, Fast Studies and Objects That Burn. I did Raz Baraka's Black Girls Learn Love Hard. Danny Simmons, Asha Bendeli, The Subtle Art of Breathing. And Danny Simmons, I Dream My People Were Calling, but couldn't find my way home. That was Danny Simmons' first poetry and painting book ever. It's very expensive too, y'all. Those books are for sale, and it's a labor of love, you know. Publishing. And so actually I haven't put the ink on it, but actually right now I am in the process of putting my publisher hat on, perhaps in a bigger way right now. So because as you know, I got my first big publishing deal outside of More Black Press happened during the pandemic. Can
we talk about that, please? I was going to get to that later, but since and I just bought it. I just bought a copy.
Wait till you read it, Danny. You're going to cry.
Well, first of all, okay. All right. Since we're already there, let's go for it. So HarperCollins, right? The Amistad print.
Yes.
First Black woman poet since Gwendolyn Brooks.
Yeah.
And we're talking the 60s. And how amazing was she? Because now, see, these talks, I know what I know, and I love these because it makes me go back and look over history. I swear, I knew her name, but not really knew who she was and what she was about.
That's real.
First African-American to win a Pulitzer.
Yeah. Gwendolyn Brooks is a goddess.
Goddess, right? Yeah, so thank you for illuminating me.
Okay.
And they haven't published a Black woman poet since like the 60s. I think the last time they published her was 68.
Yeah, I don't know what year, but it was a long time ago. And so, and it was time. And so, you know, shout out to HarperCollins, Amistad, for seeing the vision, because, you know, I mean, back when I won the Apollo, I had an agent back then too that turned me down. I got turned down by everything, which is great because I started More Black Press because of it. And publishing everybody else. So that was the amen ashe I needed to be like, okay, since when are you waiting for somebody to validate your voice? That's not what we do.
You know what? I'm going to throw my shoe at my phone.
We don't do that. Yes. We wait for somebody to validate us. Hello, nobody. That doesn't go with my outfits.
Okay, so there's a really good sister friend of mine that's watching right now. My girl Monique Martin.
Okay.
I know you're watching, Monique. These words are for you, honey. We don't need anyone to validate us.
No.
We do not.
No.
Call you out.
We don't wait for someone else to do it. And we don't need anybody outside of our community to tell us that we're fucking great. And I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even like with the thing, I waited for this. Like I could have been published before that, but I make good money. I sell these. God is Not an American. And some I do bullet holes. Like I've been publishing books, for a long time now. And so I know how to sell my own work. But I did this for distribution. I did it because it was for Sandra Bland. And I did not we want our bodies back. To be something that I had to hustle. I wanted it just to be available. I wanted you to be able, how you ordered it easily. I don't have to, I can sign it when I see you, but I don't have to ship it out. It's less, I need my labor. And Walter Mosley told me this a long time ago, and I never listened to him really, but he was at a book expo with me years ago when I was working with the basketball player Etan Thomas, and I published a book, and I did more of a vanity press deal with him. And so but I was at the expo representing him with this big, tall, vertical banner with this tall basketball player. And Walter Mosley pulled me to the side. He said, I'm Walter Mosley, and I'm trying to figure out what you can do for me. And that's a problem. He said, you need to stop publishing. He said, the thing we need from you is we need you to get up every night at 3 a.m. and I need you to write novels. I need you to start writing. We need, the thing that you think you want to do with publishing is what we need from you and your legacy of your work. And I never listened to him. I love him so much. And so I did stop. And when I moved back and I left my second marriage and started my life over again. Ooh, hallelujah. No more husbands. And God, so I say to no husbands. I'm so happy to not have husbands anymore. People always want to marry me. I don't want to get married.
Girl, because you're fierce, honey. I want to marry you.
I don't want to get married. No, nobody DM me. I'm good. I'm so secure.
Yeah.
But seriously, so I came back, and I decided to do God is Not an American was my first book where I was like, I'm focusing on me again. And that's why I was able to get God is Not an American out. Sunlight Through Bullet Holes. These are big, thick books, man. And then, I got tired and I was like, this is my name. I've been all over the world, Danny. Like South Africa, West Ghana, Brazil, all over Europe, all these places. I was just in Norway in 19.
Yes.
But this is like, I don't have like a booking agent and like major marketing people, and it's like. And then, I gotta still deal with people as much as I've done. The people, Black folks, people still try to pretend like they don't know who I am. I know you know who I am. Stop pretending. Stop pretending. And so you have to deal with this industry BS. Where I found a way to make a living, like a lot of the sisters in Black Women Rock, even like yourself, like where we could find ways to be a part of the arts in so many different ways, from curatorial to we grown now, so we can curate. I mean, I'm curating and executive producing that. It's. So we can do things to put other artists down, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. And
I said it from day one. That was the reason. I mean, obviously with Summer State, I have my platform there, and that's beautiful and all. But obviously, the pandemic has made people just shift their thinking, and that was the reason why I started even these interviews. Is because I love my community, I love my artistic community, and my arts community, and my family, and I just wanted to bring to the living room, to the table, with my little platform.
It's not little.
Oh, thank you. I know. I gotta stop saying that little.
It's you listen. We know with Jackie Vincent, who's an amazing guitar player out of Austin, Texas. Who does my show. Right. I brought her to Black and Rock 5 times. Jackie said, we did this online Black and Rock thing, and she said the platform is now balanced because everybody at home. Everybody at home. Everybody, those famous people I know, and I'm friends with some of them. They at the crib. So everybody's looking on these platforms, looking for inspiration, looking for something new, something to get them off the news. And so, there goes there goes, it's just like how we don't need record deals anymore. Right. Not so much. You just need distribution. You just need marketing. And some marketing, because we can get to our people now.
Yes, I read a review, an interview that you did when the book was coming out. Wait, let me go back really quickly. Okay. Didn't you just get a poetry award or some national something?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, we won Our Bodies Back won African American Literary Award for poetry this year.
I knew I saw it somewhere, or it would fly by.
I'm excited.
So say it again. What's the award?
It's just the African American Literary Award. It's a big African American literary award that happens every year. Ed Gordon won, Mike Eric Dyson won. I was there with all these luminaries, and the category of poetry, I won for poetry for 2020.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
It is amazing because I don't get awards. I don't get awards. I don't ever expect awards because I talk about. I don't hide. Like talking about what's happening with George Floyd and what's happening with Breonna Taylor. That's been in my work my entire career. Yeah. And that usually keeps me out of rooms. That usually keeps me not awarded. So sometimes not getting the award became the compliment. I was like, thank you. I'm glad I'm too revolutionary for y'all. I'm glad I'm too.
That's right.
So now, now that Black is, something that people like to talk about a whole lot.
Girl, I had such a, and I've said this before, I had such a side eye when all those Black squares started going up.
Yeah, I'm straight. I had side eye on so many things, and it's been deep, sis, because the entire pandemic I've been, and I want to thank Yvette Hayward. She's a sister that runs the African American Literary Award, because that's an award. Why it was special to me is that I was nominated through readers, so people who read my book nominated my book. So it wasn't like some disconnected 5 judges, right? You know what I mean? Who are not connected to real people who read the work. And so it meant a lot, coming from my community, because that's the award. The community is the award. The young people and the young girls that come to me and say, I was in an abusive relationship and your work changed my life. And or your work, introduced me to write. Now I write poetry because I saw you read a poem. That's the award. I'd be damned if I care about some damn sticker. I would like some more money. Okay. You know what? But I'm not even money. I'm not even motivated by money. Like I lost a third, like probably more than a third of my income with my tour being canceled for the spring. All my gigs, March and April. But I still sitting in my house. Ain't nobody sitting outside.
Okay.
We got a refrigerator full of food. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm teaching We Want Our Bodies Back. Actually, I have a residency at Grinnell College in Iowa. So I'm doing a 4-week course at Grinnell. I was supposed to be going back and forth, but they kept it. They went virtual, and so I'm still doing that. And I've been able to shift, sis, and my voice became something I've been asked to read to the point I had to stop. Every month I was like, okay, I'm going to start telling people, no, I can't show up for these conversations. And I can't help white people who are trying to figure out how to be good people. I was engaged in a lot of that. And I was like, this is exhausting. And then nobody is paying me. Like, no one's paying me for my time. And so
none of that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that is still, and when I mean not pay, like even a little small honorarium, I have to check people like, I'm not 25. This is not 1995. I'm not doing nothing for no $500 honorarium. Right. Like, I'm just not there. Like I've been in this business for 25 years. I've been at my craft for a long time. And if I'm doing that, it better be some kids involved. Y'all better have some kids. It better be some.
I'm so glad you said that, because I had a conversation just the other day with a woman for the very first time, dancer, teacher, choreographer. And we were talking about, she wants me to talk, and I love talking to children. I mean, I haven't had the blessing and the privilege of having a child, and I do want to talk about King, if that's okay.
Oh, we can send him to you anytime you're ready.
So she wants me to talk to her 7th grade class, young ladies. They're dancing, and they're studying Cry, the solo by Alvin Ailey that I danced way back. And I know you've met Judith Jamison. There's so much I want to ask you about. I know we have a little bit of time.
Judith.
Judith Jamison.
She came, right? She came to Black Women Rock in New York when I headlined at the Apollo, and she was in the lobby doing this to me.
That was that picture I saw. I know.
I was like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Amazing. So this woman that I had spoken to the other day, we're just getting to know each other. And I said, I do these shows on Friday. And I mentioned you. I said, yes, I'm talking to Jessica Care Moore on Friday. She was like, what? So apparently the young ladies in her class, and when she gets it together, I want her to send it to me. I'll share it with you.
Okay.
They choreographed a piece to We Want Our Bodies Back.
Really?
And I'm just like, what?
The students did it. The students did it.
The students, yes.
I would love to.
So
you have to connect me.
I will.
I'll come speak to her class, you know?
Yes.
Let me do a little surprise peep in. Like, what up?
She's in Brooklyn, and she was so excited. It was a great conversation. I can't wait to talk to her students about the arts and all of that.
Okay.
But
please connect us. And you know I have a film out, Our Bodies Back.
You do?
A dance film.
That's right, with Jonesy, right?
With Jonesy directed it, yes.
Yes.
And so with those sisters, man, and he choreographed it, and a Misty on Point shared it, so it's got a gabillion views because of Misty. Yeah, Misty shared it. She shared it. Yes, Misty, thank you.
That's amazing.
Our Bodies Back, and so that's choreopoem. So I love taking poetry and putting it into dancers' bodies.
Yeah,
I have a whole, I don't know if you know, but I have a Techno Choreopoem called Salt City that I wrote. That's a dance piece, 12 dancers.
It's on my notes. It's in my...
You know,
we're going to have a part 2, because I know you have a show tonight, and this is not enough time.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about really quickly, because I so related to this. I was, once I bought the book, I was able to see some of the pages.
Okay.
One of the interviews that you did, you said, I deserve this. Like, you were like, I came ready for this, right? I love that. But there's one of the lines from We Want Our Bodies Back was, my body was never an issue for me until I realized other people were looking at it. And that hit me so hard, because I've said this, before. Like, when I was growing up, 11, 12, I was already thick. I already had this body, whatever. I was cute. Okay, I was good, But it wasn't until and I know we've talked about this, the older men in my neighborhood, the whistling, all of that, then that was already problematic. It made me go inside. Then it was going to my all-white high school, even though it led me to my dance career all good.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a school with like just 98% white kids, baby ballerinas, skinny as hell, naturally. Right. And that was the first time I looked at my body like it was ugly or other.
Wow.
Oh, and then anorexia and all that crap. But I was fine as I was.
That's right.
Until other people started putting their stuff on me.
And deciding that you weren't white enough or skinny enough or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the reality. Like, I mean, because I was an athlete my whole life. So varsity letterman. So
I remember that.
I was a poet. Yeah. This what saved me from complete nerdom is that I could play basketball. So I was a hooper, and I played second base, and I played volleyball, and I ran cross country. And so because of that, and those things, like being an athlete actually shaped me a whole lot as well. Like my competitive nature and my team spirit, like the thing that I like building with other people. It's never about me. It's about what can we build. I became an institution builder based on like learning about from coaches, and all those things play a complete role in shaping like what you become. I think people always, get stuck and just like, well, who are your inspirations? I'm like, well, my damn baseball coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my body was like, I was such a tomboy girl, Danny. I didn't even have a manicure or pedicure until like prom.
Girl, me either.
I got my first eyebrow arch, which they have not been arched the entire pandemic. Look at them holding on for dear life. Until New York. Yes, I'm still hood, and I am going to always be hood because I'm from Detroit. What? Cut these play with me? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, just so we clear, I'm always Detroit.
Just so we clear, like people like, I'm very clear with people. I'm like, I am from Southwest Philly.
Come on, Philly.
This is who I am.
It don't go nowhere, you know. You can go all over the world. It's still, the hood is still in there. It's still in their life. Like, I will fight you. Like, I will fight you. I had to like Scorpio center myself as
my Scorpio
yoga, meditation, prayer, baths. But you go through some things. But I mean, it's just developed you. When you places from like Southwest Philly and Detroit, like those kind of places are what shapes you. You know? It's the reason why I was able to make friends quick in New York City, because I'm from Detroit, which means I'm from Alabama. So we are up south people, we country. So I just was like, I'm gonna cook some food and everybody come over. Like, that's
you can cook. I remember your cooking.
I can cook. I can still cook.
Your mac and cheese.
My mac and cheese. Look, I'm trying to go vegan, but every time I think about mac and cheese, I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian like 14 years. But mac and cheese is a problem. It's sometimes you have to eat some damn mac and cheese. Girl. And so, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I was able to create family. And also knowing I had family, like, you know, you have your family you're born into, and then you have your family that's outside of that. And that
Yeah.
wasn't artist family. It was like street family. Like
Mm.
the kids I came up with and hanging out in the streets of Detroit also shaped me in different kind of ways. Eddie Kendricks was born in Alabama, right? Everybody was born in Alabama and raised in Detroit, my brothers. Listen, Detroit is Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. We country people. We know how to grow tomatoes and shit. Like urban gardening didn't start with white people. We know how to grow stuff. I grew up with, like, you know, apple trees and tomatoes in our backyards. That's not a new thing. And so anyway, I don't know what we was talking about, but I'm not all on the
Right, just our bodies back and all of that.
Our bodies back, yes. So people can see that at Sadler Wells. Sadler Wells produced that. It's the big dance company.
That's major.
Yeah, it's a major release. So it's on the Sadler Wells website for the digital
find the whole thing and share it. I saw the one. I saved the one little clip of it. But Josie D is amazing with his hip hop festival, dance battles. I forget what it's called, but I saw that at the Apollo like 2 years ago, and then got to meet him last year.
Lyrical Theater. We did Lyrical Theater together. Years ago, he came to Atlanta and we did like a show together. And I took my first European tour was with Paul Beatty, Jonesy D, Man Melissa. I don't know if Malika Booker was on there, but it was my first tour of Europe. We went to like all kinds of places, Scotland and Utrecht and all kinds of places I'd never been. And I met Jonesy D. It was amazing. And I've been
Monique, Breaking Convention. That's what it was. Breaking Convention.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mo.
I know, like, girl, like, can anybody remember all that stuff?
Okay. So tell me, so I know we only have a little bit of time left because again, tell us about your amazing child.
Oh, King? Oh, which one? The one, Omari, the one that you knew as a
Well, okay, Omari, yes. We know and love Omari.
Omari's love. Omari grown now. He's a great big brother, too. He's so important, though, like, for King's life. And so people who don't know, Omari is my first Earth son that I raised when he was a baby. With Sharif, my first husband. And he's very important in my life. You know, he was with us last Thanksgiving with my family.
Good.
I never stop. He's always my first baby, you know, and King gets jealous when I say that. You know, I was like, well, Omari was the first baby, but you're like my first birth.
Right.
You know, you got some different, you know, it's a different kind of connection. But King is 14. He's amazing. He is a pianist but more like a music producer. Now he wants to be an actor. So next week, actually, me and my partner in crime are filming a reel for him. So I'm working on a couple of short films next week, but also doing something for him because he told me he wants to be Spider-Man. He wants to be an actor now. He wants me to go on the phone with everybody that I already know and make it happen. I'm like, baby, you got to work for it. I'm not calling everybody I know that already know you great. You got to show and prove. So he's working on his reel. He's a big thinker. He's a Virgo. Oh my. And he's beautiful. You know what I mean? He really, and him and I've been on this journey, you know. I left his dad when he was just 10 months old. I was still nursing. So it was very, you know, I mean, both of my marriages ended very badly. And so both of those times were very difficult for me. But, but my life is I'm so blessed. It got better every time. And it, you know, you talk about like being a single mom has it's just pushed me into my character, my integrity, like everything that I do, you know, comes back to King and comes back to like the kind of person I'm trying to be in the world. And I'm a better person even than I was definitely 20 years ago. And you know, and I'm just not a woman who's defined by who I'm dating or who I'm very private, you know, about who I'm dating. And I always have a man of some sort. And it's whatever. Men are easy to get. It's not like have never been like a man shortage. So but it's just not my focus. Like my focus is my career, my work, my legacy, motherhood, taking care of myself, and men will be there, you know, and hopefully some of them wholly developed humans who can actually balance out my energy, you know, because I'm not a pedestrian. Like I'm strange and I'm gone. I'm like, I understand that I'm worried about what like Amiri Baraka, Gil Scott Heron, and Sonia Sanchez are saying about my work in the afterlife and while Sonia's here. Well, I'm worried about that, you know, Indazaki calling me a week before she died, right? Like to tell me she needed me to hear a poem. Like that's and if you don't know who Indazaki is or Sonia is or Amiri Baraka are, then how can I really date you anyway? Like I can't.
No, what?
So the amount of men that I can date that understand who I am,
Thank you.
you know, like not from a Hollywood perspective, but from like a legacy and a cultural
Right.
perspective, to understand who women like me are,
Right.
who women like us be,
and aren't threatened by it, girl.
I mean, and I'd rather be
Top of that.
solo mission. I'd rather be dolo
Thank
than
you.
have to deal with something less than what I deserve.
Ugh.
And so
I
the
finally
journey-
got there at the age of 48. I finally figured it out.
You fall in love like me, I know.
Yeah.
You fall in love.
You know all my boyfriends.
You know, whatever. All in alphabetical order.
But I'm so thankful for this conversation today. And I'm so glad we got to, because the last time I saw you was at the Summer Stage show.
Summer Stage. That was amazing.
That was 3 years ago already. Jesus.
Girl, was it? I felt like longer than that. Danny said
I
made him cry. I made Danny cry. Danny said was like, you made me cry. I love him.
That was so amazing. And I had all these pictures that I wanted to put up in the screen, but I was like, you know what? We needed just to talk, and I'd be distracted by me doing that. I wanted to ask you really quickly. I know you have a show later, so tell us about your show tonight.
Oh, I'm at the August Wilson Center. Thank you with me and Nikki Giovanni and Mahogany Brown, and people can still get tickets for that. So I don't even know how much they cost, but if you go to August Wilson Center, African American Cultural Center in Pittsburgh, find their website. I've been posting it. Look on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'll share it again. You can still get to see it. I mean, you know, like Nikki Giovanni, you know, her new book is Make Me Rain. I mean, it's beautiful. I have it in hardcover, and so we have to honor these poets and these forebears, these mothers, while we got them here. You know.
Yes.
So shout out to, you know, one of my teachers for sure, Nikki Giovanni, and just honored to be on that show. I've been August Wilson Center, you know, which I need to say was in Pennsylvania, right? Your state. It's in Pittsburgh. And it's one of my favorite places. And they brought Black on the Rock there, where Betty Davis lives. I can't remember time, 2019 or 2018. We just did it, and before all this crap shut down, and it was everything. And Betty Davis, I wish I could take you around my house. You got to come over, Danny.
Yeah.
She sent like these 4 beautiful photographs. Betty Davis sent them to the show for me and signed them. I love Black on the Rock to Jess Care Moore. She signed a poster for Nona Hendrix. And so see, like that's the award, right? Like Betty Davis knows that these daughters of Betty, that we're out here, Betty, that we see you, that you're not in the shadow of Miles Davis, that we know who you are. You're the queen of funk and rock, and she deserves a star. On Hollywood, she deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the very least. Like, she needs to be there, and so I'm planning to push, you know, to get her in my own way, whatever I can do to get her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, and I know that you know, Questlove, you know, Amir is a fan, and I know that's why I learned about Betty Davis, because Amir from the Roots was at Wetlands. And was backstage with me and was like, you smile with Betty Davis teeth. And I was like,
it's so true. It's so true. One of the pictures I posted in my stories, I was like, if that ain't Betty Davis, I don't even know what.
Talk about me.
Okay, and then I have it over there. I don't want to leave the screen, but I'm looking right at it. Greg Tate's brother, his wife, Maureen, just put out that book about the Black Rock goddesses.
You know, girl, I pre-ordered it and went to the online book party, and I'm talking to Maureen.
Nice.
If you're listening, Maureen, can you call me? Because I'm working on an anthology around this work that I've been doing, and I'm trying to get Maureen to be on board. So so Maureen or the Tate family.
I'm going to tag them up after this. No, it literally is right. I'm looking right at it.
You got your book already? Because I ordered mine a long time ago.
I got the book already. Yeah, I came. The show that Jessica's doing tonight, Poetry Unplugged, August Wilson Center, is linked in my bio, so you can still get tickets. I'm going to watch it at 8 o'clock tonight.
Thank you. Come on, and I want to bring Black Woman Rock to Summer Stage. Can we say that? Okay.
Black Woman Rock Summer Stage. We're gonna do this, girl. Listen, I'll be hosting. If they don't fire me before then,
you're gonna be singing. We're gonna take off that hat.
I know they're so tired about me, girl. I'm like, listen, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. This is it.
This is who you are.
NAACP.
I love you. Thank you for being part of my life and my story, and for, like, not forgetting.
No, girl, really? First of all, I was like, I set this up with you and I was all excited. And then I started like looking through all the stuff you've been doing. And then I got all nervous. Girl, I was nervous all season today. I had my little wine to the side. I was like, it's Jessica, but I don't mind being gassed and nervous and starstruck by my friends. Yes. Like,
Thank you.
I'm starstruck by you.
You're so sweet, please.
Am.
Girl, I'm just blessed. Let me tell you this. I'm just blessed to still be a working artist. Like, I'm so blessed. And even during the pandemic, like I had, you know, I'm on Common's record, Beautiful Revolution. Shout out to Karen Riggins. My techno record came out with Jeff Mills and Eddie Folks, who are like Detroit techno gods. Yes. And so you're
in the museum. You're in the African American.
I am in the Smithsonian.
Miss Thing, come on.
That's crazy, right, girl? Listen, I love you. I love you.
Come on.
Yeah, but I'm that girl in that picture you posted going like this. What was I doing? I got a pussy shirt on.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, it's Frenchie. Shout out to Frenchie. Pussy.
Yes.
I
love it.
I thought it'd be a good shirt to wear for us. So, but I mean, that picture grounds me in everything. I'm in the middle, looking crazy with my big ass afro.
Okay.
What up, dog?
I love it.
I'm here with all these fine ass queens.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, we at that, even in that was in our 20s, we were killing it. We already knew who we were. Lisa just were her perfectness and her Moshu shirt. Like, what? With the third eye. Come on, sis. Like, I just, you know, and I'm still that same girl. I'm still the same girl in that picture. Yes. My hips are bigger, thank God.
Okay.
Like, we was all little skinny tails. No baby hips, just little skinny tails.
Okay, what? So yes, we've been in this pandemic and we just all had this crazy political shit this last 7 days. I don't even want to.
I wrote that Insurrection 21 poem. That's
I'm gonna post that too. Thank you for sending me that. But I want to stick with the joy.
Yes.
And what
the joy is important.
Where do you find your joy in these days?
Wow, now that's a deep one. So my son, of course, you know, like King for sure, keeps me on my toes. He cares about things that I don't. He makes me look at rap videos that I don't want to look at. He does dance moves. We have a good time. I have a guy friend in my life that's been a light, to be honest. We're actually working on a film script right now. So my first feature film. So that's the future forward for me. Yeah, I'm writing screenplays. And so, but he pushed me, like, it's a screenplay that I actually wrote 10 years ago that I sent to other people. But when I sent it to him, he said, let's do it. I said, what do you mean, let's do it? He said, I'm going to help you because he's a screenwriter and he knows how he's good at dialogue. I'm writing all in poetic form. And he's like, no, I can help you develop the dialogue. Let's do it. And so we've been writing this film idea and the script that I had. He's going in and helping me develop. So now I got the bug. So I already have my second film script that I'm going to work on. So I want to see my work in a bigger space in television and that screen. Also for Black Women Rock, you know, I've been pitching and talking to, you know, to some folks at Netflix because I really want to tell these women's stories. I really do. Because Black Women Rock isn't about like the concert. It's about the stories. It's about the women and how they got there. And they're the most amazing. Like, shout out to like Divinity Rocks and Stephanie Christian and Yazara and, you know, Kimberly Nicole, Liza Colby and Militia Vox.
All of them.
These are my sisters, man. Like, I love them so much. And yeah, of course, we talked about Timur Khalid and Amani Azuri. And, you know, you know, joy. I just miss them and I need them. And somehow they have allowed me to be a part of their tribe. You know, I feel very much honored to be among the rock goddesses that you all are. And but there's a lot of young ones coming up too, you know, that I'm, you know, we're pulling in. And I love, you know, Jackie Vincent and there's Nick West, you know, like she's just a doll, you know, but these women's stories, when they tell their stories, because we do the concert and then we do the talk, and the talk just. It's everything. And young girls need to see this and all over the world. They do. They need to know that we exist, you know, that we're not a monolith and that there's that awkward Black girls who like to listen to Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and whatever.
I just watched Afropunk, the documentary, for the first time in a while the other night. And just amazing.
A reminder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that doc is, I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, and that's the only, I think the difference of what we're doing is that, you know, we're all Black women players. And I think, you know, because there's other women, and shout out to Nona Hendricks and to Toshi Regan, who also do, you know, World Rock Sword. And then Nona does her event. What is it called? Something Rock Solid. Thank you. Ooh, thank you, brain. Let's go. And, and so, you know, the difference with Black Women Rock, the way I produce it very fast paced, and it's also just all Black, pretty much all Black women production, and also all Black women musicians. Yeah, so, gotta have some little fly in the suit to get on the stage, and you can't have a dang. We love penis off stage, even backstage, or even after the show. But during the show, it's off the JJ, baby. It's off the JJ.
See, y'all. Okay, this is exactly why I needed my cocktail. Oh, listen, Jessica, I love you. I'm so moved and inspired by this conversation.
I'm coming over as soon as COVID's over. I'm coming.
Please, I got room. And we're gonna go to the cloisters and we're gonna take pictures. I need a copy of those wedding photos. I don't have any.
Girl, I got them. They in the book. book number 1. It's book 1.
I love it. Well, listen, have a great show tonight.
Oh, thank you. I love you.
All right, talk your shit, Scorpio.
Always. You know how we do.
My Scorpio sister. My October sister. I'm a Libra October, but
you October, baby.
I'm an October baby
in the world. The best month in the 12. Hello. But thank
you.
Well,
enjoy. Happy Martin Luther King birthday today.
Yeah.
That you said yes to today of all days, and that you have a show tonight.
Yes.
And just taking the time to spend with me today. And I really, really appreciate all the promotion that you did. So that's part of it. I'm a one-woman show. Right. I've been a one-woman show forever. And yes, please
get the books.
Bodies back. Jessica's website is in my link in my bio. Go to the website, buy the books, support the movies, support it all.
And you'll share this so I can share it?
I absolutely will. As soon as we close out, fingers crossed technology, I'll be able to download it.
You will.
And repost it. So
okay.
My love.
I love you.
And with your friend.
Thank you.
I'll see my friend tomorrow. Okay, my little man.
Friendship is very romantic. Friendship is romantic.
It's very
people don't know that. Let me say that is the key to everything. I have no interest in like boyfriends. I'm too grown up. But oh my God, one of my boyfriends is here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with your trees.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, fuck boyfriends. You know what I mean? I'm a grown ass woman, and all I'm interested in is partnership and finding a balance. That Ozzy and Ruby. I want Ozzy and Ruby or nothing.
Right.
I want Malcolm and Betty. That's what I want. You know, but Ozzy and Ruby for me are like, you know, that's the model for me. And of course, nothing's perfect, but if I can't create with you, then I'm gonna get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say one quick thing? They were in the audience when I did Cry at City Center.
Shut up.
Ruby D was there, and she was sitting right in front of my grandmother.
Stop it.
And she was one of the first people that stood up in the audience.
Yes, she was.
I just remembered that. Oh, Jessica, thank you for the memory.
Come on. I got a poem for Ozzy and Ruby, and we want our bodies back.
Oh, okay.
It's a poem I wrote after I was in New York. The day of her funeral was the day after Sonia Sanchez's 80th birthday celebration in Brooklyn, and I read at that. And the next day they were burying Ruby D. And I saw Sonia and Haki get in the car to go, and I wanted to go, but I was too sad to go. I couldn't. I loved her. I knew her. I got to read with her. And so I met both of them. I read with Ozzie Davis once at the Abyssinian Church in Harlem. We read slave narratives. Danny, I'm sitting next to Ozzie Davis, and I'm scared as shit. And I'm like, and he knows I'm scared as shit. And so I go up and I read my poem, I read the narrative, and I sat down next to him afterwards. I was all sweaty and stuff. And he nudged me in the arm like this. He said, "You're done good." I was like, "Thank you."
See, those are the awards. Those are the awards.
It's that pushes me to the next place.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There was no iPhones then. I didn't have no selfie moment with Ozzie Davis. But I had an elbow in my arm that took me to the next place. And that's all. And then, so thank you for taking me to another place tonight. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So much
I
more.
needed the joy. It was a hard day for me. So I love you so much.
I'm so glad we can make this happen today. And
there
needs to be a part two.
I'll come anytime.
Okay, my love.
Okay.
I
I
love
love
you. Have a great
you.
night and a weekend and
Yeah.
pushing forward. Black power, black girl juice, black women
Black
rock,
girl
black
juice.
lives
Let's
matter,
go.
all of it. Love you, my
Okay,
queen.
I'm gonna call you after this. Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Oh my God. Oh, I told y'all. Jessica Care Moore. Jessica Care Moore. What more can I say? That was corny. But seriously though, please go to her website. The link is in my bio. I'm overwhelmed and inspired and ready to get to work. Ready to get to work, to keep on doing it, keep on keeping on. So please go to her website if you can. Tune into the show tonight. The show link is in my bio here on Instagram. And if you missed any of it, fingers crossed, I'll be able to download the whole show, repost it to my IGTV, as well as to my YouTube channel, danniGeeLive. Woo woo! But thank you all for tuning in. Hey, Law, I love you. Hey, Delmar. Hey, everybody. My guest next Friday is, yes, I'm going to have you on, Law, very soon. My guest next Friday is leading dancer with Alvin Ailey, Solomon Dumas, and I'm super excited. He's a current member of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and it's just a fabulous human being. So thank you again for tuning in. Happy MLK birthday today. Stay strong, stay safe, wear your masks, stay healthy, stay encouraged, and I appreciate you all for tuning in. danniGeeLive. Love you guys. Bye.